Okay, I know it's been a couple weeks, so let me fill you guys in on what we have been doing in the grand country of Saudi Arabia. I think we left off with us going to the 80s party. If we didn't, my apologies. We went to an 80s party at Antara at this other compound, and I wore a cute outfit. So Saudi National Day was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I talked about that, but they had a flyover. Everyone crammed the streets, like crammed the streets. The flyover was really cool. They had the equivalent of the Blue Angels, like their fancy flyers, flying around, and we sat outside in the road. You just parked in the road and looked up. I have some videos, and so you'll see how crammed of people it is. But it was really cool to watch, like everything fly by. And one got so close I could like see the man's goggles. Like the plane was so close to the ground. And there's one where he's like flying upside down and he like flips around. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. We had a celebration at school for it and everything, and everyone's dressed in green. Some kid came painted green. So it was a big day for Saudi. Not our national day, but we still celebrated with the Saudis. And we had like a dinner with our friends and like our obviously Saudi friends. And we had a whole little party, little partay for our friends. And then the next weekend we went to Bahrain, the small island country off the east coast of Saudi. We went with our friends, a friend that we had that's a couple. They drove us over the border. It's like a 4-hour drive. And let's see, when we were there, we went to this like beach place. It was like a private beach you could go to. And so we hung out. The water was like very salty. It was quite buoyant. And it was nice to get to swim in the sea. And we went and saw the dead bodies that Robert saw before, the like burial sites from some empire whose name I forgot already. Dimon? I don't remember. I feel bad. But the museum was really cool. It's like newer, and they had this whole exhibition on like growing up in like that area a long time ago, or not really that long ago. But it was like they had like these model people, and so it showed you like they had like a whole model city, a whole model market, a model pearling boat, which was really cool. They're big pearlers, which was so we really enjoyed. And we got to eat some delicious food. Oh, I had the best French toast ever. It was like this big piece of bread, and it was like soggy, and it didn't even have syrup. It had like caramel and honey. Oh, delicious. And then Robert and I ate at the cutest restaurant. It was called like the Venice or the Florentine. It was adorable. It looked like a little Florence, a place you'd see in Florence, or honestly like a house you'd see in Charleston. And it had cute outdoor seating, and it was delicious too. And Robert got a waffle, but it was like a dessert waffle. It was so yummy. And it was nice to not be in Saudi for a little bit. You can wear kind of whatever you want. I walked around in a tennis skirt and a V-neck, so I felt quite free to be able to, wear shorts and a short sleeve T-shirt and not feel like I needed to cover up all the time. So it was refreshing, as one says. And they had great orange juice. So that's good too. And there's the pictures. They had like a Portuguese fort that we went and walked around. And then we drove home. I slept most of the car ride home. I was so exhausted. And we got home really late and I had school the next day, so I just crashed. But it was quite a nice vacation, and it's close. So it was a place that I think next time I would probably fly just so I could get more time waltz in the city. And they had all these different like bars. They have it's kind of like a Five Points almost. It's like a main road that has all these different bars on it. And so it was cool to go to we went to an Irish pub, and it's like where we started our night, and they were playing the band had the first 5 songs, bangers, all different in style. Like they played Mr. Brightside, and then they played AC/DC, and then they played TNT, and then they played the I Would Walk 500, that one. I I was screaming to all the songs, and everybody else was kind of like, all right. The band was really good. So yeah, that was really fun. It was really fun to be with our friends out of Saudi as well and watch them kind of thrive in their own environment, in a new environment, I should say. And then we came back. I had school, kept doing school. Yay. We have 4 weeks left in the semester. So next week is week 8, and then 9, 10, 11, and then exams. Except for I won't be here for week 12 for the first week of exams because we are going to Greece with Mom and Dad for the marathon. Whoop, 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 whoop. And so we kind of solidified, this past week, we solidified where we're staying, and we got the rental car, and I'm just getting so excited. I'm counting down the days. My girls in school are counting down the days with me because I'm just so excited. I cannot wait. We're doing such cool things. So we're getting very excited. And my girls are not thrilled about exams, but they're Excited for me, I guess. They have to be. I'm too pumped to let them not be. But in the meantime, my friends and I went to a cool art gallery. So Robert and I, our friend Victor, Marouge, and Leal. I think that was it. Yeah, we went to like this interactive art exhibit, and so there was a section where the whole room was like mirrors, but they had like a projector on the floor, but it was being mirrored all over the room, and the floor was like heat censored, and then they had like a ball pit, and they had this like topographical piece of art, so it was like sand, and you could move it around, and it would show you like elevation. Like on a map, topographical map, it's like red at the top of a mountain, and then yellow, and then green. So you could like move the sand, or you could dig the sand out, and it would have water because you'd be like below sea level, and then you could build it up and punch a hole in the middle, and it would be a volcano. That was cool. And they had like these stick figure things and a 3D printer, and so that was a cool exhibit. And you could like tap the walls, and the artwork would change colors and such. So that was really nice. And then the next week we did that was 2 weeks ago. This past week we smashed stuff. So me and my friend Leal put on these like hazmat looking suits and smashed these TVs for like 35, 45 minutes, and we just like beat the heck out of them. It was actually a blast. I was pouring sweat by the end of it, and I have a blister on my thumb, which you can't really see anymore. Well, that's embarrassing. You can't see it, but there was a blister on my thumb from the baseball bat. Well, bing, 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 and just hitting it, and it was, glass was going everywhere. I had goggles and a hard hat on, and so we just beat it up because sometimes you just need to beat up some TVs. And then our friend Marouge arrived, and she decided while we were beating things up, she wanted to like shoot with a BB gun because she'd never shot anything before, ever. And so we like walked by, and she missed one time. Every other time, 15 out of 16 shots, or balloons, I should say, she made with us watching her. We were like, she goes, "What is it hard? Is it supposed to be hard? I think this is too easy." And we were like, "You've never touched a gun before, and you are shooting all these balloons with the BB gun. Like, good God." And it was interesting because she'd never touched a gun, and they didn't really give her any like advice. They were just like, "Here you go, this is how you reload it, shoot the balloons." And so I walked in, and she was like swinging it around. I'm like, "Oh no, no, no!" She's like holding it, and it's like swinging. I'm like, "No, no, nope." I said, "We're gonna point that down towards the ground. Rather lose a toe than an eyeball." She's like, "It's not loaded." I said, "Well, you should pretend every gun is always loaded." Hashtag Ben Brantley gun safety. And she was like, "Okay, whatever." She's never touched a gun before. And then our friend Leal came in. She's like, "Oh, I want to try shooting it." So they were trying to load it, and it wasn't working. And Leal swung it, and it hit something, and it shot off. And hold on, Robert just came in. My apologies. But when she hit it, it like went off, and so it shot the little pellet like at the wall or something. And they were like, "Oh my God!" And they started freaking out. And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Every gun is loaded. Come on, ladies. Like, I'm not making this stuff up for fun." And then, so we stopped doing that. And then we did archery. It was like all in this one little area. So we did this archery stuff. And I'm not great, but I felt cool, because I like popped my balloons first or whatever. And the lady who was teaching us, she was like, "Yeah, that's what you do. This is your stance or whatever." And she was like, "And then you just pull it." And she like wasn't even looking. Bam, bullseye. We're like, how are we supposed to recover? Like, how are we supposed to even come close to that? But I was doing pretty good. I'm not consistent, but I'm accurate. So I think that's it. Yeah, I'm accurate. I go where I wanted to go, but not consistently. I can't make it do it twice. So I'm like, we're over here. But anyway, it was nice. It was fun. We did balloons. Marouche could not shoot an arrow. She ended up like, it was like the target and then like a bigger foam piece the target was like screwed into. And then above the foam, above the foam were like the words like grand archery, whatever. And she was just like hitting the A, hitting the G. I'm like, "Are you aiming up there? What are you doing? How are you doing that?" And she's like, I'm aiming for the middle." I'm like, "The middle of the R, the middle of the A." But it was funny. And then her balloons, she like wasn't hitting them, and so me and Leal were like racing to hit her balloons because Leal and I had hit ours already. And then all of a sudden one just popped, and we looked over, and the girl who had instructed us was like in the corner, like sharp shooting us, like from way further away than it should have been possible. And she just popped them all, and we were like, "Okay, well, take the fun out of it, I suppose." But it was still really cool. And then let's see, Robert and I went to Two Cellos, the concert. We saw it originally in Greenville with Robert's parents at the Bon Secours Wellness Center, and it was amazing there. And so when we heard they were coming in town from our friends who went to Bahrain with, one of the girlfriend was like, "Oh, I'm going to this concert, it's Two Cellos," and we were like, "It's amazing, we have to go." So we went to it. It was so great, and it was so funny to watch a bunch of Saudi men sing Highway to Hell and like their thobes and like rocking out to AC/DC and all these other like Led Zeppelin and all these tunes. And of course, Chuchelos is always great. So shout out to Chuchelos. If you get the chance, go see Chuchelos. Let me think. What else? I went and had a girls trip with like another girls trip with just Marouge and I went Abaya shopping because I just have my black one from the Danube, and that's boring. So I got this really pretty light blue one that I had to get altered because it was a little long, and then I got this one that's black but it has hearts on like the cuffs. If you don't know, an abaya is like a robe, like a black robe kind of, but thin material, and you just wear it over like a jacket. But it has hearts on the cuffs like this much, and then the like headscarf has hearts on it. I don't use the headscarf, but my girls love to like wrap my head. Anytime I bring a scarf to school, they're just like wrapping me up. So I might bring my heart one to show them, just because it's my last name. And then let me think. And then Leal and I the next night went to the gym, and it was like it's this calisthenics gym, and so you do like rings and bar, and they had like a bouncy, basically an aquamat, like an inflatable aquamat we used to have, but you do gymnastics on. Right now their gymnastics classes are cartwheels, so I'm not going to invest in that. But I told her, I said, if you ever do any type of flipping, I will happily come and flip. Like, so I was doing round-offs and like launching into the sky afterwards. I'm like, oh, I'm a cheerleader. I taught Leal kind of how to do a handstand. She's like, my wrists are sore, my wrists. I'm like, well, if you've never done a handstand before, I bet your wrists are sore. But she taught me this cool trick on the bar. And I showed her what I learned at Lady and Papa Joe's house, but that bar between the trees. I was like, this is what I learned at my grandparents' house. I did it. She was like, your grandparents have bars? I was like, nah, I have like a one bar between trees. I'm not sure how it got there. But that was really fun. I didn't really feel like I got much of a workout. It was like a lot of stretching. Like my side was sore, but it was because we like stretched with this pole and then with this band. So it was just one side. But I got all the soreness out by running an 8K this morning. We woke up at like 6 a.m. It was exhausting. 8K is 5 miles, BT dubs. It was at this other compound, Antara, where we had the 80s party. And it was we ran like 7 laps around like the interior of the compound. So it got a little bit monotonous. But I beat the girl that I was pacing myself off of. She was running in sandals. So feels like a win. Hold on, it's Robert again. I don't even remember what I was saying, but here we are. Okay, last thing is the French Embassy. We went to it a couple weeks ago, actually a month ago. Maybe it was a month ago. Well, we went to it last night as well, and it was fantastic. Actually, I don't know why I said that. We got there. We were there for an hour because of the race this morning. I wanted to make sure that I got a good night's sleep. But they had beef. They had beef tenderloin. Oh, Dad, you would have loved it. It was so good. A little well done, but delicious nonetheless. I mean, so good. Oh, and last week, okay, hear me out. So there was the woman that I did physical therapy with. She physical therapized, which isn't a word, another lady named Gianna. And she is living in our compound now. Isn't that crazy? So the girl who therapized with my physical therapist in Colombia now lives here in our compound with her husband. They're my parents' age. They have kids my age and my siblings' ages, like off a year for them. But her daughter and I are like almost the same age. Her daughter was born in like April and I was born in February. So I met up with her and got coffee, and then Robert and I took them to the souk, like the marketplace, and they got some rugs, and we got dinner, and then we're taking them to pizza at La Rustica tomorrow night because, it's delicious. At the DQ, we're going to go on a walk. I'm hoping that there's a 5K tomorrow in the DQ for breast cancer. This one today was for breast cancer too, and so I'm going to go do the 5K tomorrow, and I've invited like everyone. I'm like, come just at least walk the 5K. I'm trying to convince my friends to do it. The likelihood is slim. They're not really the race in the morning. Well, really, they probably race it. It's just it's in the morning, and they hate that. They don't wake up till like noon because they don't go to bed till 5. But yeah, we'll see them tomorrow. I've got Sunday, Monday off of work, which is lovely. So I needed a breather. I think we all needed a breather, and so I'm gonna do some me stuff. I want to work on my cookbook, and I want to cook some vegan pumpkin banana cookies, which sound kind of gross, but the recipe on TikTok looked delicious. So we're going to try. And if it's gross, I'll let you know. If it's delicious, it's going in the cookbook. But I've got some, personal stuff I just want to get done. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. We are finalizing the little pieces of Greece. Like I've got a tour to book in Athens. I'm trying to train like crazy. I keep swimming miles. I can swim a mile, but then once I start running, I'm like, oh, this is boring. I don't mind the swimming part. Swimming gets a little boring, but the running, I'm just on a treadmill staring out the window. So I might start running outside, but it's a little warm still. My skin is all cracky. But anyway, that's us. That's what we've been up to. You'll see the pictures of our glorious things that we've been doing. And we'll update you probably in another couple weeks, because next weekend we're trying to just relax and chill because we've been going. And then the next weekend we're celebrating Halloween early at a party on a compound, and our costumes are pretty great. So get excited. I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be a surprise. So get excited. Yeah. And I think that's it. I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Bye. Also, my parents went up to grandfather with the Hearts for a little golf tournament, and my dad and Eric's team won. Woohoo! Say hi. This place is adorable. It's called the Florence. I hope you're proud of yourself.
Reminds me, you know the, how do you call it, the round things that you play as sports?
ايش داير رب؟
أحب حبيبي. We can't see.
And thus victory was ours. We ran the 5K together as a group. Robert, of course, coming in first. He won the whole 5K at the U.S. Embassy. So yay! Thanks for watching. Go, Robert.